Hey, what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Players Club podcast, a podcast by the players for the people, and I'm your host, Darien. Welcome to episode 23 here at the Players Club podcast. Thank you guys for joining us once again for another episode, whether it's your first time with us or you've been with us for every episode. I appreciate you for tapping in, tuning in, all the above, and just thank you for all the support. I was back, came out of Clemson. I moved back from Florida and was able to go to the spring game and be around Clemson this weekend. And just for all my Players Club podcast faithfuls, thank you guys for all the encouragement, just all the love you guys showed me in person recently. Seriously, that means the most. Just to know, like, you guys are really tuned in and enjoying the content. That's why I do it. I just want to continue to grow the platform, get people some more eyeballs into a lot of things I get to see and some things I don't get to see just from different guys that come on the podcast, or women too. We're going to get some women on here at some point. But just seriously, thank you guys so much for all the support, you guys. All likes, comments, shares, subscribers. It seriously means the most. And this week, we're going to talk about spring game. We got one of my good friends, former teammates coming on, KJ Henry, Mr. Personality himself, will be joining us. And you guys are really going to enjoy that conversation. But first, like I said, I was back for the spring game, was able to come back and just be around Clemson. Coach Swinney had a big fundraiser on Friday night. If the Clemson people know, like, he does like a big fundraiser for his foundation, invites a lot of foreign players back. They just intermingle with the fans, the donors, all that good stuff. So it's fun to be around my Clemson family. And then Saturday, I was able to kind of go to a couple different functions, get on air with some of my good people over at the Roar at Clemson. But just hanging around, my first time being on the other end of like the Clemson experience since I was like a recruit. I've been in the midst of it, being a player, but now just kind of enjoying the festivities, tailgating, watching the guys, kind of just enjoying the fans, enjoying Death Valley from a different angle. And just for the record, the spring game means different things to different people. Like when you're a fan, kind of my perspective now is like you just want to see a good game. You kind of want to get the feel of football is back again. You want to tailgate, be back in your favorite stadium, which mine is Death Valley. And also you just want to see hopefully the team give some hope that's going to be a good year. That's all you're looking for. You're looking for a little excitement, hopefully some growth from the last season, and some of your favorite players to kind of perform like they should perform. But from like a football perspective, like the team as a player, like the spring game is like your time to really get some momentum going into the offseason. And so the spring is literally just to help development. You got a lot of freshman guys just getting on campus, early enrollees. You got some older guys coming off the season. Some guys come back, and the spring is for them to kind of really start to develop the things they want to work on to hopefully get them to that next stage or level or kind of like performance level that they've been working for or desire. So the spring's huge. But the biggest thing is you want to hopefully stay healthy, because it sucks getting hurt in the spring. You want to stay healthy during the spring ball and really just come off the spring with momentum as a player. Like, you've made some plays, you've proven that you can play going into the summer, which is kind of where you transform your body. You kind of make those huge strides, huge gains individually, and then collectively as a team. You kind of start to grind and really build that foundation going into the season. But the spring is huge from my coach's standpoint, because it's the foundation of the year. Like, the last team is gone and it's over, no matter if you won a national championship, no matter if you won 2 games. And the spring is like your chance to bring everybody together, build a solid foundation, hopefully to make that climb on the next journey. So that's kind of the spring context. And like I said, the spring game is when the coaches divide up the team, because in college you can't have like a preseason game. You can only scrimmage against one another. So you divide the team and try to do as even as possible, and you let them just go at it, and you have a winner. And usually the winner, at Clemson, I don't know how everybody else does it, the winner usually has a little punishment or something. The winning team gets something off. So that's kind of how the spring game works. But it was exciting. It was good to be back. I wore my rings. I say this all the time. I don't wear my rings a lot because I think it's like very, just very toolish to say. But I picked special occasions to wear my rings. So I wore my rings this weekend. Saw a lot of my good friends, a lot of former teammates came back, and we support the guys. But it was a really good time. My biggest takeaways was our D-line is scary, and our team's going to be really good, in my opinion. We're going to let KJ get to all that here in a second. That's pretty much it. Like, spring game was amazing. I'm back here training for a little bit, still waiting, kind of playing a waiting game like a lot of people are, leading up until the draft and like the undrafted period. And I get married in like a week, like 10 days. I know, crazy. It's crazy. So that's coming up. But right now, I'm about to be joined by my good friend, my brother, like a ball of energy all the time. KJ Henry coming up next on the Players Club podcast. Stay tuned. Episode 23. Welcome back to the Players Club. I'm joined by one of my really good friends, a guy who I would say has a huge personality, brings a lot of laughter to my life. Joined by my good friend, Keith Henry, also known as KJ. What's up, bro?
There it is. What's up, brother? Appreciate you having me on.
Glad for you to be on. I want to get someone out from Clemson because recently they just finished up their spring game, who I've been a part of for 5-6 years. And some people think it would be weird for me not to be a part of it, but I actually think it's very appropriate that my time is went and gone, which I spent a long time at Clemson. So just want to hear from the man himself, just based on how spring ball went. But first, tell us about the spring game.
Yeah. Firsthand, spring game went well. I think, the two perspectives, I look at it from our defensive perspective and, being an older guy, holistic perspective. So defensively, I think we balled out, low scoring game, a couple minor mistakes here and there, which always happens. But, for the amount of guys that we had hurt on the defensive side and the depth that we've been trying to really, work on this spring, I think the guys did a great job, like I said, keeping a low scoring game and just keeping the points off the board. So that was good to see. And then just from a holistic perspective, I think the team's really growing. Offensively, flip side, fans outside in don't really know what's going on, but definitely some injuries battling there. And I do think we have one of the best D-lines coming in all of college football this year. So having to, really go up against us every day in, day out, it makes it, a great competitive environment. But I think we're off to a great start for the year, especially just trying to build off of last year. I think guys are hungry, want to develop, want to grow, want to get better. And, after 15 practices, I definitely could see that.
Boy, you sound like a veteran. You sound like a future coach. Who's your head coach? Shout out to
him. Coach Kyle Richardson, tight ends. But, hey, led the white team to the victory. Did a great job. Me and Tyler got a penalty for excessive celebration, unsportsmanlike conduct. Appreciate him not really chewing me out for that. Great day overall.
But people sleep on Kyle Richardson. A man was like a multiple state champion coach. How do you say that?
Winner.
Legendary winner.
Yeah, he's a winner. There's no doubt about it. There's different levels of football, obviously, but no discredit to what he's done, especially at the high school level. He's won a lot of games and Swinney wouldn't be in the position he's in today if, he didn't earn the job. So he's definitely going to bring some energy to the tight end room.
Bro, when you look at spring practice, as a veteran like yourself, what do you hate the most about spring ball? Is it the Paul drills? Is it a W drill? Well, y'all can't even do Paul drill no more.
Can't do it.
Wow.
We do goal line. We do goal line stand for
all right, tell the people really quickly. All right, so Paul drill, just for the people out there that may not know this, it's kind of like your typical Oklahoma drill, but due to many reports that may be unsafe for college football players, what that means, that has been done away with in college football, if you did not know. And so now the Clemson Tigers do what?
Just goal line stand. So this is simple 11 on 11. And, you got to run with inside the tackles and defense got to stop you from getting in the end zone. So keeping it game-like scenario, still keeping it physical, keeping it competitive, but not as on top of each other, you would say. Very, very realistic. And I think it made a difference. It's still trying to tackle the running back, but definitely you could tell just like the rep wise and stuff. Like you could feel the difference between that and Paul drill for sure.
Yeah. Paul drill was more so like mentality than it was realistic. It's not very realistic at all.
Yeah, just love a good old Paul drill, but yeah, that was cooked. Very close quarters. At the end of the day, we all have our strengths and our weaknesses. And I definitely like being on the edge. I don't like being down the middle of people if I don't have to. And that's kind of what Paul drill made you do, whether you liked it or not. So it is what it is.
Hitting on this real quickly, like you talking about holistically looking at the team. Like a lot of Clemson fans looking at this year's team. Obviously coming off we pulled out 10 wins. Thank you, Lord. But coming off a tough year per se for the Clemson standard, I really like this year's makeup of team, like offensively and defensively. as a veteran, you know what I'm saying, like captain on the team, leader on the team, future whatever,
Yep.
all that stuff, is what's your take on this year's team? Like, what you thinking?
Well, I am. You're right. I'm excited about what we brought back. I think it's. I just love the narrative of us winning 10 games and we suck. I love that narrative, man. Seeing some teams do it for the first time ever this past season and get glorified for it, and we win 10, and it's like Coach Swinney said, if he wins only 10 more next year, he'll probably get fired. I love that standard for us. I genuinely do. It makes me laugh, but I also appreciate it because of everything that's happened before us.
Right.
And at the same time, really just I think about losing some of the offensive guys, Self, Ross, and then a lot of guys coming back. You know what I'm saying? We're not really losing that much there. It's not going to be a young cast, a lot of experience in the offensive room. And then defensively, a lot of new stuff, but the standard, from what we've done it from a defensive perspective for years now, it's been set. And it's a lot of older guys led by the front, the D line right now, and everybody's just trying to do better and be better, like I said earlier. So I have nothing but great thoughts for what we could be. I know the potential's there. I know the talent's there. But what I love most, the guys are just happy to be out there. There's not a lot of any complaining or anything like that. Guys are just happy to work, and appreciative for a chance to really show what we could do this year.
Yeah, you kind of led it right into my next question. My biggest takeaway from the spring game, obviously, people want to see the quarterback matchup. They want to see hopefully a high scoring game, which as a defensive player, you like that. People just want to see some more points because obviously last year we didn't score a lot of points.
Right.
But bro, the D line looks scary. Like, I mean, there's like on both sides, you really could take 4 guys and go play at any school. No, I ain't gonna say any school, but 98% of college football teams and go start. Like, you could take that D line and go win anywhere, any conference. Yeah. So what's your take on the D line?
Well, I think we're going to be special this year. The Avengers are going to be very special this year.
We're going to get to that.
Yeah, of course. I think after last season, no excuse by any means because every team goes through it, but I definitely understood what injuries can do to a team. So the focus for, guys who not only are trying to make it to the next level this year, but trying to be successful is definitely going to be keeping us all healthy. But definitely a chance to be really special, man. And I think the guys know it. There's a selflessness. I think as long as Coach Swinney keeps alluding to that 2014 D line that we had here, which he talked about multiple times, in the sense of just guys who just had to rotate in and just dominate consistently, and who are still playing in the NFL today. That's something we see for ourselves, and then just having that. But like I said, potential and talent, that high tier talent that they had in 2018, that we had in 2018. Kind of putting those two together is what we see our D-line as this year, and have very high standards for ourselves, and know we can be something special. No doubt.
But speaking of the D-line room, just to give people context that aren't Clemson fans, but the ones that are Clemson fans, little jaw memory lane right here. In 2018, we had some fellow Tigers that named themselves the Power Rangers. A little excluding of the rest of the group. It was just 4 of them.
Big exclusion. That's fine, though. Yeah, that's fine. Hey,
it's fine. Look,
young
it's
guys
fine.
come. I'm all about earning your stripes. So no ill feelings. Earn not one of a stripe, and would never want to be a Power Ranger because being an older guy, they definitely earn that, and I get that. But that was all them for sure.
Right. 2018, you had the 4 Power Rangers: Christian Wilkins, Dexter Lawrence, Austin Bryant, Cleveland Farrell. But times have changed. We're embarking on a new day in Clemson football. And I first caught wind of this on Twitter. KJ, I would assume you're the main culprit. Tell the people how the Avengers came to be.
Well, it started from a couple things. I think number one is, which the guys they know this, but they don't know this, is I love movies. And a lot of the movies, we'd like have a D-line, just go watch movies together, and it were the Avenger movies. Big Avenger guy, XT's a big Avenger guy. So being some of the older guys on the D-line, that's kind of just been like our love ever since we've been here. Just connecting with those superheroes, like really getting into their backstories and stuff, like really being some nerds about it. So that's where kind of the love came. And then just coming into this year, it's like, being a fifth year senior, like every fifth year guy who's having to, weigh on going to the league or coming back, you have to have that piece, find that piece about coming back, and not only coming back, but not being miserable. And,
Right.
that thought created in my mind too, right? It's like, I can't regret this decision. I have to take it head on. And that's kind of where both of these two things kind of mash up. Like, well, we about to have some fun this year. Not only about to have some fun, we're going to be good. And I love my older brothers, but we ain't no damn Power Rangers. So we're gonna have to figure this out. And we did. And I really don't remember like who, whether it be myself, XT, TD, like I really don't remember who's the first one to say like, bro, we could be the Avengers or whatever. But it came to light. We talked about, each other's characters and whatnot, and really didn't have a plan for like putting it out. And the day I tweeted something was literally right after practice, and I forgot, the lady who asked me the question about the Avengers. But she kind of doesn't even know that she was kind of the inspiration for us even announcing it, because I just went in the locker room and was like, hey guys, like, when are we going to put this out? Like, when are we going to say something about it? And I think Rook or someone was like, bro, let's say something at 8 o'clock. I was like, bet, let's say something at 8 o'clock. So we just threw it out there that night. And it's been awesome. It's been fun. Like I said, it's keeping it lighthearted. It's allowing us, really, I don't think anybody's peeped. I haven't seen anybody say anything about it. But it'll come to light, through the plays that we make. But every person on, at least the guys, the main Avengers, like, because that's one thing about the Avengers too, is like it's a big group, and
it's a lot of them.
That's right, and that was done on purpose, is because there are main Avengers, yes, but everybody on this D line, not only brings something to the puzzle, but can ball out for real. And that was the biggest reason for why we're the Avengers, because everybody can be somewhere. Now, with that being said, there still are the main Avengers, and the main Avengers that we displayed on Twitter. Everybody has their own celebration for who they are. Right. As you see me salute, during the spring game, that's kind of what I'm gonna have to bring, being Captain America and whatnot. So you'll see that as guys continue to make plays. We talk about it all the time. As far as like what we got to do when we make plays, to show who we are. But no, it's been fun. And the coaches have bought into it. Some of our play calls have to do with being Avengers.
Oh wow!
So yeah, it's definitely picked up storm. Everybody in the facility is loving it. Big Bina, he's loving it. Like everybody's making it fun, making it lighthearted, and definitely giving us a sense of go save the world.
Go save the world. Go save Clemson. Clemson needs another natty, KJ. And I'm not responsible anymore. This is the fate.
Go save a trophy.
The fate is in your hands. I'm sure there'll have to be some showing of costumes at some point in the next year or so. So just I can't wait for that. Just off the top of your head though. Halloween for sure.
Got to be a fun time. Yeah.
Halloween got to be. Off top of your head, do you know your fellow Avengers?
I do. So the guys.
Could you give us a rundown,
Twitter, please? Yes. So in front of you today is Captain America, the most basic, but the leader. And then we got XT as Thor, Justin Maskell as Doctor Strange, Miles Murphy, Spider-Man. We got Brian as the Hulk, Tyler Davis, Iron Man. Yep. We got Rook as Black Panther, E.T. as Falcon, and Trey as Hawkeye. And like I said, different guys in the background. Definitely got some love to Peyton's Ant-Man, Kevin's War Machine, and it goes on and on. Greg's Vision. And the thing is, everybody has a reason for who they are. Like, it's not just we drew a deck of cards. Like, everybody has a reason. And it's just funny to us how we come about everybody's reasoning for who they are. Some are more obvious than others.
Yeah.
But everybody has a reason for who they are. They correlate to their character in some way, for sure.
I love that, bro. Look, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Like you gotta y'all bring a little swag to the year, so I'm excited for it. But a couple more things before we take people back down KJ's like journey. One of the biggest things that happened this past offseason, or like right during the season actually, was that the person who you came to play for, Coach Venables, took a new job and left.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in your perspective, how did Coach Venables, like, what was your take on Coach Venables leaving?
Yeah. So, I think, having my pops be a part of this business, it was rare, number one, to have a culture like Clemson to where it's just so weird for like a coaches to leave, right? Like that's such a norm that everybody else really has to deal with. In all of college football is a coach leaving every 2 years, 3 years, whether they get fired, or whether they get hired somewhere. And before, obviously the big change we had this offseason, like probably count on one hand like how many coaches we had lost on the whole coaching staff
I know.
in my 4 years here. So that was just weird because I had definitely myself gotten comfortable, so I know the guys did as well. But at the same time, after you take back from just the emotional connection that Coach V had on all of us because he was a great coach to us and a great mentor, you just have to be happy for him, right? Like it's a place where he had been. He grew and developed over the years as a defensive coordinator, and it's probably one of the only jobs because he turned down a lot of jobs. He said no to many of jobs every year.
He did.
So it was the one place where I was like, this just feels right. And all you can do is really be happy for him at the end of the day. A lot of new opportunities for a lot of coaches, and like these are family, changing decisions, generational wealth, type decisions that are being applied to these families. So at the end of the day, yeah, feelings were hurt. There's no doubt about it. But it wasn't personal. We definitely get that, and
Not at
we
all.
definitely wish him nothing but the best. He's putting in the work. Coach V, high energy guy. He's gonna get it out of you. There's no way around it. There's no way around it. But definitely was a weird landscape, not necessarily because of who it is, but just because of what we've been used to at Clemson, I'd say.
No doubt. That's a great way to put that, bro. And we've talked a lot on this show about Jimmy Green Beans. Like we've heard from him himself. We've heard from him from former quarterbacks like Chase Bryce. You've had a lot of experience with Jimmy Green Beans. I just want to hear what was that life like on like a regular day of practice with Jimmy Green Beans.
Yeah. And, to hit back to the fact, Jimmy Green Beans, which I know Wrench has already talked about, but it's Coach V practice persona when he plays quarterback. One of the worst quarterbacks I've ever seen. There's no doubt about it. He can't throw the ball for nothing. Very, very lackluster athleticism. Field vision bad. It's all bad. He warms up before practice with his arm, so that's what makes me laugh. And he's really like, it's funny because Coach V, being a high intensity guy, he's going to chew you out and he wants you to be right just as much as you want to be right. So you have to respect that about him. But when the quarterback is the one chewing you out, as a defensive player, it's really hard to not hit the quarterback. And I would say one of the best and but hardest things was like it was easy to stay away from the quarterbacks in practice. Once we get in the scout team, it's like if we hurt this quarterback, we ain't gonna be hurt on Saturday. Like as long as he can walk around, we'll be fine. And
Right.
he's definitely, you ask him, he's called a couple injuries. There's no doubt about it.
No doubt.
But nah, honestly, it's crazy impressive how he can read a defense um, from his quarterback perspective and correct it immediately, like all 11 positions. I kid you not. And one guy messes up, it might as well be like there's a sign over you saying I did it because he's gonna see it every time, every time, every time, every time. And I think that was out of everything, all jokes aside, that was like really impressive to me coming in. It's like, dude, like how did he know that I messed up on that play? I feel like he wasn't even looking at me. And there's definitely through different calls, he will pick up the stress of the call to make sure that we're on it. I think that helped a lot. When you come to offenses and tendencies and whatnot, um, as far as how we played on Saturdays, I think that was a big factor of it. But yeah, one of the best guys, but easily one of the worst practice quarterbacks we've ever had. No doubt about it.
Yeah, no doubt. But hey, there's a new sheriff in town. A couple new sheriffs. You're getting the firsthand experience of their first year being DCs. Just enlighten the people on like new Johnny Karras, Wesley Goodwin, and then Coach
Yeah,
Khan being the new DCs.
yeah. Well, Johnny Cares is no more. We actually do have scout team quarterbacks now. They letting that slide, but Coach West, first off, a great addition to the defensive staff. Been with all of us, our whole time here, but really just got a promotion A little iffy. I'm not gonna lie, a little iffy from the guys because we just didn't know. We didn't know what we didn't know when we first got
I
hired.
know.
But
Right.
after a spring, we know now. That's all I'm gonna tell you. We know now, and
Real deal.
ain't nobody questioning what we might have questioned when Swinney made that hire. Ain't no doubt about it. And I have 100% right here, KJ Henry telling you 100% faith in Wes Goodwin and what he's gonna do for us in the coming years. And with that, Coach Khan, also another big time winner on the high school level, and then been nothing but successful on the back end ever since he's been at Clemson. He's brought I think the fire that we still have comes from him when it's needed. I think we have great accountability and leadership right now. And obviously Wes isn't the loudest guy in the room, which is fine when you had that, but Coach Khan can definitely bring that fire to you and definitely the same amount of intelligence as well on the back end. So, it's a team effort when it comes to our coordinators, but
Yeah.
they're doing a great job. It's definitely different, but we ain't skipping a beat. We're flying around, having fun, and we, as you see, we making plays.
All right. So if the people don't know, KJ, you are a very highly recruited guy, top 15. I might be shortchanging you, whatever. Recruit in the
That's good
country.
with
You
me.
got a lot of you got a lot of places to go, bro. And obviously the recruit landscape has changed a lot. But what made you come to Clemson after going to so many schools? Like, what was the biggest thing that made you come to Clemson?
So, yeah, I'd say location was one. Just going through like where my mind was then. Location was one. The success was one. The graduation rate. Swinney still raves about it today, but that was one. But I think the two biggest things, and myself, I can get on a soapbox about Paul Journey, but
Right. But shout out.
I can't shout out to Paul Journey. I can't say enough about the leadership initiative we had there, and it literally was one of the biggest like differences in all of college football. Like, yes, this team is one of the best in all of college football, but they preparing everybody who's not about to make it to the next level. They getting a job and they getting paid, right? And they growing as men,
Right.
and they helping in the community, and nobody else is doing that. Like, it wasn't even close. Like, the next best thing was some job fairs. I'm not about to throw no schools under the bus, but like just some career hiring fairs. Like, we've had those in high school, bro, which are great. But like, what sets you apart, from a football standpoint? So I think that was the number one for sure, like out of everything. And the number
Yeah.
two, which I talked to somebody the other day, which I really never told anybody about, was the fact that I came on my Clemson visit, and shout out to him. Jordan Sorrells was over the recruiting, and
The man. He's
he,
the man.
and he allowed me to wear a Clemson jacket while it was raining. It was raining that day, and I think one of the best things he did was he made sure that it didn't come home with me. He was like, "Hey, we're gonna need that jacket back,"
Wow.
and
The
that really
integrity, man. The
that
integrity.
that stuck with me. That stuck with me.
Wow.
You hear some of these stories about these guys getting these McDonald's bags and whatnot. Like, for him to know, like, I was feeling myself. I was a top tier recruit. It, like, wasn't nothing slide by Clemson. Wasn't nothing going home with some of these guys. Like, the coaches weren't giving out nothing. I know players can give out whatever, but the coaches weren't letting nothing slide. And that was a big message from all across the staff. And like, I don't even know how I ever told Jordan that, but that really stuck with me.
Bro,
I really did.
I've known you for a while. I ain't never even heard you even mention that. Shout out to
Yeah,
Jordan Sorrells, one of my
Jordan
favorite people in the
Sorrells.
Clemson program.
Yeah,
We'll definitely post this clip because my man's got to get some love. But literally
yeah,
one of the best, if not the best recruiting coordinator out there in the country. Shout out.
it's tough.
But bro, yeah, well, I'm glad Jordan Sorrells did that because if not, I wouldn't have met you like I do now, knowing you
Yeah,
as well as I do. So
could have been a
glad you
different
not take a
story.
jacket. It could have been a different story, bro. It could have been different. But moving on, bro. Just all right. So you come to Clemson. You obviously decide this is where you want to spend the next 4, but now obviously 5 years of your life.
All right.
What was your welcome to Clemson moment, if you can recall, like one thing
Mm,
where it welcomed you to college?
mm. Oh, that's easy. Definitely Waffle House.
I'm
From
unaware.
no, it's when these D linemen, take us to them cook sessions. Uh,
Ah,
yeah, yeah, and Clee and the Power Rangers, if you will. Had a great workout for me me and XT when I first got there. Speaking on just trying to take us under their wing, but it's kind of like you got to earn your stripes first. And they had a great personal workout for me and XT, and during the workout, just did a great job of reminding us like, nah, y'all all Americans, y'all 5 stars, it's easy, boom, boom. That was it. That was definitely the moment where I'm like, well, I'm here now, so let's get to work. But that was fun. That was fun. But definitely my welcome to college moment. No longer in high school. No longer playing basketball. I am a Clemson football player.
All right, future job. What you want to do?
Future job. Would love to get in the after my NFL career. God willing, would love to get into coaching or sports broadcasting. I'd love to do that.
As the people can see, that'd be definitely very fitting. Favorite game of your career?
I'd have to say probably it wasn't even like the best game I played, but probably the Boston College game this past year, just because right place, right time, got on the football and kind of clinched the win. And it was probably my favorite game because of hearing how it went for my parents. Like my mom would always say like, oh my goodness, they made a play and she didn't really know what happened. But then like everybody like bombarded them. Everybody bombarded them and like, oh my goodness, KJ was on the ball. And my dad, he hadn't said it, but mom was like, yeah, that was definitely one of the happiest moments he's had, watching me. So, hearing that, that was what that bought them. It definitely made it one of my favorite games to be a part of.
Yeah. All right, bro. I ask people every time they come on here because I'm gonna put you in a bind, and you just gotta go with it. And no, people are gonna judge you for your answers, but you gotta live with whatever you say. And I feel like you're a very well-spoken person, and so I feel like you can handle the weight of this. And don't give anybody no honor. Just off in your heart, in your core, you answer this question with all integrity. Who are the top 5 defensive players that come through Clemson?
Oh, okay.
You have to give me order. Just give me 5. Give me 5.
I don't have to give you order. Just give you 5. Okay. Well, let it be known first off that my defensive Clemson knowledge is not the best. But with that being said, I would have to. And yes, I'm so mad I have to say his name. Christian Wilkins is in my top 5. Isaiah Simmons is in my top 5. This is tough. Refrigerator Perry. That is a while back. That's a while back now. Jeff Davis.
Oh,
in the ring. A boy in the stadium.
Not the judge.
Don't tell him I said that. He'll be feeling himself now. He ain't gonna let that one go. And gotta go with my pass rusher. I think Vic Beasley. He was just his ability his story is what puts him in the top 5, because you can't being a running back and then becoming on the edge and his last year doing what he did. Like, yeah, I'd say that's off the top. That's off the top of my head. I'll live with it because I really had no idea what I was going to have to answer, and that was just kind of first come to mind. Couple of
that's a solid 5 though. Obviously, you got some honorable mention. People can interchange a couple, but that's a solid 5. Like, I feel like you got a couple ones that I think a lot of people put in there. So good top 5. Yeah. Bro, oh man, I appreciate you for coming on the podcast.
Yes, sir.
A great episode. I guess the last thing is just, all right, so if you could end, I don't know how to ask this question, but I mean, we kind of talked about 2022. Like, what's the vision? What's the goal? Like, it's your last year. You're going out. And you can just be very honest. You got to dream big. You know, that's what we believe in that program. How do you want to end this year? How do you want to end your 5th year?
Yeah, definitely want to end it, on top from a team goal. Obviously our goals align us to put us in a position like that. Align us, we say win to close it, just if there were 5 undefeated teams and we didn't get chosen, we still want to go out winners, but want to be on top of the mountain, man, when it's all said and done. I think that's what a lot of us came back for. And then myself, really kind of the past success, really, I think my spring and, alluding to the end of last season, My goals really essentially were day by day and having the right mindset because that's when I was lacking early in my career. And ever since I've kind of committed to the mindset of really just wanting to prove that, I'm good enough to be on this stage and essentially like kind of what we have now, not only this stage would be a player on this D line. It's something you got to go earn every day and prove every day. I think Coach Keys kind of instilled that in me is proving that you deserve to be the guy. And that's whatever stems off that, is what happens. But at the end of the day, my goal this season is prove that I deserve to be the guy. Yeah, that's kind of personally that's kind of the mindset. Just a unapologetic leader is what these guys are gonna get out of me, and just proving every day to them, the coaches, and myself that I deserve to be the guy. And then, like I said, I think the best version of our individual selves collectively make the best team in the country, and hopefully that shows. And we're in LA holding up the trophy, so that's the goal for us.
Look, I will be there. I love LA.
I know you'll be there.
But,
ain't no doubt about it.
I'll be there, and I can't.
The best fit, the best fit you can find.
We're gonna be putting it on. Look, we're gonna be there.
Bandana.
Let's go. Come on,
high waters
to the nines. They get the kicks. I don't know what they're gonna be, but they're gonna be
wrinkled socks and some type of shoe. We're gonna figure it out.
Come on. Well, bro, appreciate you for making time. The Players Club podcast by the players for the people, and we've been on with KJ Henry. Sign off, whatever you want to say.
Hey, appreciate the invite, appreciate the love. Great platform, great thing Brother Wrench is doing here. Y'all stay tuned in. As always, Go Tigers.
For sure. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode with KJ. One of my favorite teammates. A joy to be around. Ultimately, just all around great guy. And wish him nothing but success in his 5th year coming back, and wish him just the ride of his life. Hopefully they make it to LA, because I would definitely be in attendance. I would love to see Clemson back on top. We're definitely due for one. And I really feel like the makings of that team with like leadership like him and other guys, I think they really have a chance to make it happen. So let's see. But it was just good to hear. I don't know. He had a lot of good stuff in there. So you guys hopefully will learn something, laughed about something, encouraged. What about that quote? Encouraged about something, like all the above. But thank him. And then just want to thank you guys, seriously, for tuning in to another episode. It really means a lot. I'm going to keep trying to get people on here that you guys want to hear from, and continue to make the platform better, continue to grow it. But just, I can't do it without you guys. So continue to subscribe, like, share, comment on all the platforms. We've got to 3,000. We're almost halfway to 4,000. Between 3,000 and 4,000. So let's make that jump. Let's get to 4,000. Another goal for the Players Club podcast. Let's hit it along the way. Just continue to grow this thing. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. It's been episode 23. The Players Club podcast, a podcast by the players for the people. And I'm your host, Darien Richard. See you guys next week.